Yay!
Yay!
Oh, I did it again, Marcus.
Yeah, it's so embarrassing. I was just standing there like this. I'm like, whenever it comes, oh okay, whatever.
I cheersed at the wrong time, but prost.
Cheers, Izzy.
Prost, everyone. Happy
Roast
Friday.
everyone. I mean, like, obviously.
Oh, that's good. That's
What
nice
is it?
beer.
It's a beer?
It's Dauben Sauer.
Daubers Sour. Never heard of that. I think no self-respecting Bavarian would drink that.
It's a
But
nice
kudos
craft
to
beer
you.
from Bavaria. From Yankee and Kraut, a really good brewery.
All right.
Very fruity. What are you drinking? You have your Tegernsee. Lovely.
Tegernseer, definitely. Yeah.
Very
Tegernseer
nice.
kind of Friday evening.
Yay.
Yeah. We are both on vacation next week. So heads up for everybody listening in. We won't be here next week, but the week after next again, right? The week after next?
Sure. Probably, yes. I'm back on the Thursday. Yeah, so I can make it.
You probably have a lot to tell because I think tomorrow you're going upwards, actually, towards
I'm going horizontal.
Spring.
Yeah.
Horizontal.
to Edinburgh, to Touring Fest. Yes.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
really looking forward to what you're telling us. Then, by the way, Rüdiger's watching. Prost, Rüdiger.
Prost, Rüdiger.
Yeah. Also from London, we got Mariano. Prost.
Cheers.
Nice, great you're watching. By the way, we were talking about the Zalian junkies in our daily dose of SEO. We were missing you there. We don't go into this. It was actually a German thing, but it's just so nice to see Mariano here.
Yeah.
And also Oliver Lindner, servus, Tegernseer. Okay, we have a Tegernseer fan here, obviously. And also Joe. Hey, Joe.
What's up, Joe?
Great you're watching. Joe is more of a wine guy. He's like a really good wine guy. But yeah, today is
we've had wine sometimes.
We all I definitely had wine sometimes, so that's for sure. Alex also tunes in. Prost. Everybody's prosting. That's awesome. Thanks everybody for watching. If you're also watching, please chime into the party. Let us know that you're watching because both Izzy and I were at home, talking into a computer. So it's always nice to actually see there's someone on the other side actually listening to what we're saying. So if you're watching on any of the channels, just let us know. We are live on YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. Oh,
Meta.
Not Facebook anymore. No. I was like, anybody caught it? No, obviously this is the big topic.
It's the elephant in the room.
The elephant in the room. But let's real quick tune into Touring Fest again. So what are you talking about at Touring Fest next week?
I'm talking about something that I've never spoken about before. I'm talking about website sustainability and how to create a more eco-friendly website. Because our websites, our supporting systems, they do contribute to a huge carbon footprint. But through many different ways, we can have more sustainable domains and content hosted there. So that's what I'm covering, and I'm really excited for this because it's a very important topic. It's close to our hearts, and it's the first time I've given a completely non-SEO talk. So that's really cool.
Yeah, let's make the internet carbon neutral. Yeah, that's the initiative. And actually, SEO plays a big part in this because if we could do good SEO, if we speed up our websites, and not really, waste people times, we also can save a little bit of CO2 footprint with, just like having a little bit of a faster internet experience for all of us. So,
it's better for everyone. Yeah,
it's better for everyone. Everybody wins. Win. Everyone wins all around. High fives all around. Everybody's winning. Oh, Leah's also watching. Hey, Leah. Cheers to Minnesota.
Yay.
Which is funny because I was just talking to someone from Minnesota who's currently in Mexico, but still, I mean, it's Leah, so I just wanted to pick up the reference here. It's kind of nice. What are we talking about? There's so much. I mean, we already teased. Facebook is now Meta. This is so Meta. And like all the Meta, I think all puns have already been made. Lots of, obviously the Meta keywords, the Meta description, and stuff like this. All the jokes have already been around. The best thing is actually Meta.com redirecting to about Facebook.com. I think it was Jono in a tweet. It was like measuring the payload you're basically getting from JavaScript, lots of heavy stuff, and also like the logo is replaced via JavaScript. Obviously, this is not nothing for Jono standards here, but I really enjoyed it. It's really cool. And also,
it was
excuse me.
It was a terrible decision to do it this way, like loading all of these resources just to get to the redirect, and yeah, it was messy.
But I mean, like, we can all relate to this, right? This is like nothing unusual, and it's obviously to be expected that even the huge companies do this kind of stuff, and I guess they couldn't care less, right? I mean, like, whatever. And by the way, props, head tap to the guy whoever used to own meta.com. Also, by the way, great domain, and probably got a nice price.
Millionaire. Yeah.
Obviously, it's like, I mean, like, jackpot, right? Seriously, I mean, like, if you have like one of the biggest companies renaming their company and you get the corresponding .com domain name, and I don't think it gets any better than that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so it's all Meta, and I actually read what Alex has been writing about it, also the chief marketing officer, and also coincidentally a member of our expert board here at Write. And yeah, he really shared some interesting thoughts about the development, about the process to getting to Meta and what it really means. And this is really for them to look beyond, you know, like what's next. And to be honest, while I'm not a big fan of like Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, as I rarely use Instagram, like super rarely. I super rarely use WhatsApp because I'm just not a texting kind of person. I'm not a WhatsApp person. And I mean, like, obviously we use a little bit of Facebook, which is a little bit bigger here in Germany, but other than that, I'm not really like the super committed Facebook or Meta type of person. But what I really like is Oculus. I really like Oculus. And I also have it, and I mean, I was a big fan before because I used to have, I still have the PlayStation 4 VR headset, which is pretty cool. But still, you get the cables going and stuff like this. And then when they announced the Oculus, especially what is it called? Oculus Rift 2?
Rift, yeah.
I think so, yeah. When they introduced this, I was like, totally, oh my God, you don't have any cables anymore. You don't need the PlayStation and all that stuff. You just turn it on and you're good to go. And I love it. Just like also just using YouTube VR, you know, having like these amazing VR experiences just on YouTube, right? Also during Corona, where I couldn't travel anywhere, and I would just go around the world via YouTube VR. And the kids love it too, by the way. So they really, you know, like diving with sharks and stuff like this. This is really cool.
Wow.
And I'm a huge fan. You know, I'm a huge fan of Oculus. Although it sounds like I would use this every day, but obviously I don't find the time for this. But nevertheless, I'm a huge fan, and I can totally see. I can totally see how this can actually develop into this metaverse that Facebook is actually trying to achieve here. So basically, we could basically as we could agree to meet basically wherever we want. So on the beach of Hawaii, this is it. Yeah, this is the one. So on the beach of Hawaii. The Quest 2, yes, not the Rift, the Quest.
Okay.
Confused with all of these, and I can totally see that we would say, okay, let's meet at I don't know, that favorite place we have in Hawaii, like 10 years ago, where we were at a bar. Let's meet up there, and we would meet up there. It would look exactly like this, and everybody that has ever tried the Oculus really knows it really looks like this. And we would both have our avatars, and basically it would sort of like really feel like we both would sit there in Hawaii talking to each other while we are
sounds nice
back at home. So, and I can totally see this, right? And even more so with Corona and everything. So I'm really excited for the future. Again, not for the whole social network and all the stuff that's going on there, but more like this, because this is really a huge thing, obviously. I can also see this like really done professionally with conferences and everything, which is just like starting, but it doesn't really feel like a immersive experience yet. But I mean, we are. I think there's a lot of years, which this will take quite a while, but I can totally see this happening, and I'm really excited for that future. So from my perspective, kudos to Facebook for that rebranding, and I'm excited for the future.
Yeah, I mean, I actually thought the name was a little bit generic, a little bit expected. Yeah. I don't really care too much though. Like honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of Facebook, and been toying with deleting it for a while. But it's the only place I can talk to my grandma. So we stay up to date via Facebook. I was checking.
I wouldn't need to like use it professionally, and this is where we really mainly use it. I would totally get rid of it. But I wouldn't have a Facebook. I would have a Twitter. I wouldn't even have a LinkedIn account. I don't care. I just would do my SEO stuff, and really, if you really want to find me, you can find me. But I don't need to play in these social media channels. But obviously, like for business reasons, especially in Germany, it's still a factor. And while I have shared a lot of personal stuff back in the days, I don't know. I think like the last time I shared like something personal was like at least 3 or 4 years ago. Or anything like this is really more like a business tool of some sort, but not really, what it used to be. Yeah, and it's also funny, by the way. So you have Amazon, Alphabet, Apple, and now Meta. I was actually thinking they would also come up with a name that starts with A, or banana, which would be awesome, right? You would have Apple, you would have banana, or whatever. I'm not the perfect branding guy here, but
apples and
I was
oranges.
really expecting them to also have something starting with an A, and now it's AAAM, whatever.
I was going through the site's search results today, seeing some double metas going on here. You see a lot of Facebook still in the title tags, like actually in the title tags. It's not as if Google hasn't taken it yet. So it's quite interesting. Was looking at some jokes that have been posted around. So Carl Hendy found a job posting for technical SEO responsible for the mapping and redirecting of all 10 billion indexed URLs of Facebook.
But that's a hoax, right?
It is a hoax.
Oh, that is a hoax. Responsible for the mapping and redirection of 10 billion indexed URLs of Facebook.com and Meta.com, manual outreach to all 107 billion links to reflect Meta.com from Facebook.com. All right.
Yeah.
And by the way, useless work, right? I mean, like if Facebook changes to Meta, I don't think you have to go and like really write to people, hey, can you please change the link there? It's gonna work. It's gonna work. Google is gonna make it work, right? So
they're already ranking for Meta. They're already ranking for Meta.
I would think so. Yeah.
Because they were on Danny Sullivan's Twitter account. Maybe not on mine. And then I was doing a single page analysis as well ever since Jonu found some issues. Malformed head, the URL with dub is not redirecting to this page. Just some critical issues. Definitely some performance problems there. Lots of overdoing it with the JavaScript. Yeah, so quite interesting to see.
So Joe is chiming in. Annie has done, also Annie, he's talking of Annie Ruder Cortica, also a SEO Oktoberfest G50 Summit alumni, a good friend. I has been there, I think, for 4 or 5 times. Also joined with his lovely wife 2 years ago. When was the last time we did SEO Oktoberfest? Really like these guys. So Annie has done a lot of good work on the tech side of things to ensure page discovery, which is the primary issue given the sheer amount of new content that goes live daily. Yeah, absolutely. Also, he's a great head of SEO, Annie. Great guy, obviously. Battling with a lot of issues none of us normal SEO would ever have to deal with. So huge kudos to Annie. I wouldn't want to do his job. That's for sure.
No, not
and I'm
at all.
really excited for next year when we're gonna reconvene for the SEO Oktoberfest G50 Summit again. And I'm looking at you, Joe. Want to see your Stangl weird. And I can't wait. I can't wait to hear some war stories from Annie and Brian and whoever. Telling us about how that move really worked, especially like then 10 to 11 months in the future, in the past. So this is going to be really exciting. Can't wait for that.
Yeah, very cool. Nice. So shall we move on then? What
Did
else?
we find anything else?
There's some performance issues, some inline CSS, caching. Yeah, I didn't dig too much.
JavaScript going on there.
And the meta tag, it's got meta in twice, the meta title. Meta.
It's in the original OG title, right?
It's in the OG and the meta title. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Just a quick check from my side there. Yeah. Cool. Then, yeah, this where there it is. Meta.
Yeah. Meta.
Right
on. What else do we have? Ooh.
Next we have some controversy.
This is big.
What happened? I can't read the article.
I mean, like, obviously there's lots of chatter around this, and we really got to see what's really alleged and what is really the truth. I mean, like, you definitely have to see that this is coming from Texas. This is a very, very red state, and obviously you have that, battle going on between the social media networks, Google, the big tech giants, and the Republican Party, who still, for a large part, feels they've been somehow robbed of an election, whatever, right? And obviously they also blaming big tech. It's like one of the usual scapegoats there. And you definitely have to consider this. I mean, like, obviously there's lots of bombshells in there, but this is still a lot of stuff which is alleged. I mean, like, obviously you also have lots of quotes, like internal emails from Googlers and stuff like this, which is now finally unredacted, so we can finally really see what's going on. But I really think you got to be a little bit careful between what's really true and what might be a little bit overblown. I mean, what we see here in the Wall Street Journal article, this goes towards that they're charging they charge charges more than twice its rivals in ad deals, and also basically has quite a big tax on like stuff going via the Google Ad Exchange, the ADX. I think it was like between 22 and 42% of sort of like of a tax. And I think this is also kind of funny because I don't know if this analogy is correct, but you would basically say if you go to that shopping mall, to this specific shopping mall to buy something, you would basically, every dollar would only be worth 50 cents, right? And this is kind of ludicrous, right? So you would go to that mall, but every dollar you spend is only worth half, right? Who would want to go there? I mean, but with nobody knowing, with lots of like not really being a lot of transparency around this, right? This is obviously people don't know. And why we are at analogies, I think the best analogy is, do you also have the original paper? Because I think it's on page 7, and actually on page 6 and page 7, as a first. Here, I love it. So scroll down a little bit. I just want to read this real quick. So the scale of online display advertising markets in the United States is extraordinary. Google operates the largest electronic trading market in existence, whereas financial exchanges such as the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ match millions of trades to thousands of company symbols daily. Google Exchange processes about 11 billion online ad spaces each day, every single day. In Google's words, hundreds of thousands of publishers and advertisers use Google Ads Exchange to transact inventory, and more daily transactions are made on ADX than on the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ combined. At the same time, Google owns the largest buy-side and sell-side brokers as one senior Google employee admitted, the analogy would be if Goldman or Citibank owned the New York Stock Exchange, or more accurately, the analogy would be if Goldman or Citibank were a monopoly financial broker and owned the New York Stock Exchange, which was a monopoly stock exchange. Holy shit, right? And this really puts this into perspective, what we're talking about, because this is super complicated stuff, right? And even reading through a lot of the interpretation, it's still very hard to understand and very hard to grasp what's really going on there. And I think this analogy really makes a lot of sense to actually see the gravitas of this whole concept, right? And it also shows, how, at what lengths Google is willing actually to protect this, sort of monopoly. And if you really see this, especially like zeroing in on these exchange fees, right, which might just be like 19 to 22%, basically, if you just trade on there, right? So it's exponentially higher than analogous exchange fees on a stock exchange, right? So the question is even, and I think a Google employee also said this in the documents, an exchange shouldn't be immensely profitable business. It should be like a public good used to facilitate buyers and sellers. But if you own everything, why not, right? If you're the biggest seller, if you're biggest
you
buyer,
own the monopoly.
I don't mind if you also make a business out of this one, right? So I can totally relate to this. But if you really like work with this analogy, it really becomes clear what is the problem here. And I mean, like, obviously another thing which is like very big here is the fight against header bidding. So because Google introduced something like dynamic allocation, which was supposed to maximize the revenue for publishers, but in fact they were basically like getting prime inventory at a lower price. So the competitors came up with header bidding, and I'm not a programmatic advertising expert. I mean, like, obviously I'm really just an SEO guy. So please, if I explain it the wrong way, don't come at me. So, but header bidding is sort of, it's like pre-bidding. So before you have like a waterfall model. So I would have like a premium inventory that I would sell directly, right? So an ESPN selling directly to fanatics, obviously paying a little bit of a higher price for the premium inventory, and then basically it would. This is why, hence the name waterfall. Basically, it would go down the next. As the next open spaces would go to the next one, and obviously that's not a good practice, and therefore they come up with header bidding. So in this case, actually, you would implement a JavaScript on your website, and when the site is called up, you would actually you would actually route the ad inventory to multiple exchanges, to solicit the highest bid. And obviously, this is a much better model for publishers. And it's very interesting because Google officially said this is not at all a threat. This is totally cool. This is fine with us. This is awesome. And internally, they said this is an existential threat. Also, holy shit, right? And this is when they came up with a program called Jedi. And we talked about this a couple months back, I guess, because this document has been around. It just has not been unredacted. So there were a lot of blanks in there. But they came up with this program, Jedi, basically make their own exchange win, even when another exchange submitted a higher bid, which is awesome, right? So you would just manipulate the system, so to speak, to win bids, although you even didn't have the higher bid. And since Facebook, like I think in March 2017, Facebook really threw its weight behind header bidding, and everything. Then Google really understood the threat of this happening, and so they wanted to team up with Facebook, basically build a moat by collaborating and not, compete with each other. And they came up with certain quotas of basically bids they would win, while in fact they might have not have been the highest bidder. So it really sounds like a deeply manipulated system. But again, this is all alleged, and there's a lot of stuff in there. But obviously, this is on such a large scale that it's like probably also very hard within this litigation to really find out what really happened. Yeah, so this is, I mean, like really, really interesting. And the third part, I think, which is really interesting for SEOs, and I think this is when they went a little bit overboard with the critique, is that AMP was actually created because to combat header bidding. So what they did, it actually says in that document, Google throttles the load time of non-AMP ads by giving them artificial 1-second delays in order to give Google AMP a nice comparative boost. So you basically make the system and you make everything else slower, so you can say, oh, well, I like header bidding, but it really slows down your site. I mean, which is true, by the way, which is technically true, because if you do JavaScript, which with every page impression queries 7 different exchanges, waiting for those bits to come in to finally deliver an ad on that page, obviously that slows down the site. And this is actually something, so this is true, right? But still, it's alleged that they went even overboard and artificially delayed this, so they would always win with these AMP ads. But so I mean, like, all right, but there's a lot of people that actually now that Google created this because of this, and I think this is completely overboard. I think this is taking this way too much, and this is also it doesn't do AMP justice, because I still believe in AMP, right? I think still at the heart, AMP is still a great way for smaller webmasters without much knowledge to create a mobile-friendly, fast website, right? Like very, very easily out of the box, right? Or build your website with some of the components. So I really also like that AMP itself, it's not like you got to use this is like this one size fits all framework, but now you have sort of like the bento box of different modules you can also use, which are optimized for mobile accessibility as well as speed. So obviously this can also save a lot of development resources working with this kind of stuff. So at the core, I'm still an AMP fan, and I realize I'm one of the a small group of SEOs who is in the pro AMP camp here, right? But I'm like really sort of like coming from like talking to a lot of smaller webmasters. I can really see this helped a lot, and this is actually really still a good out of the box solution for smaller webmasters. So I'm still in the pro AMP camp, and I wouldn't really I don't really know if also I wouldn't go that far that despite this happening, created this just to combat header bidding, which would be just ludicrous.
Yeah, that can't be
on so many levels. So this is my general take on this. I mean, like, obviously lots of bombshells in there, but we really got to see, like, we can't like there's so many different aspects here, so many different allegations, that you can't just throw everything in a box, stir it around, and just say evil. I mean, obviously there was something evil going on, but I wouldn't say that AMP is evil in that sense, and stuff like this. And this is where I think the whole discussion got a little bit overboard. But obviously, it's one of the largest companies, and if stuff like this comes out, right, obviously people are going to pile up on this. But I think we got to be a little bit more differentiated in this case here.
There was this Twitter thread that you sent me as well.
Yeah, this is actually really cool if you don't read the whole document, to really get some of the most interesting tidbits here. But even this,
I would do that.
Key part in there, and yeah, this is really for you to, if you want to read into it. It's rather with the Twitter thread than the whole thing. But I actually read the whole thing. It's super interesting, right?
You read the whole thing?
Yeah, obviously, it's not that long. And there's lots of like very interesting tidbits in there, like lots of interesting like internal communication and stuff like this. So I'm super interested, right?
It's not that long. It's 173 pages.
I mean, you can scan through a couple of these things, obviously, but it was there's very interesting stuff in there.
Okay.
But again, I don't just believe everything because it's
Good.
although I mean, like, there's some pretty crazy stuff in there, obviously. Yeah, but
I'm gonna recap with the Twitter thread, I think.
yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks for the summary there as well.
But I
Sounds
think
really
I said
interesting.
like half of it probably completely the wrong way, because it just totally, I can't even totally understand it, because this is it. It's super complicated, right? And this is, I think, the problem with this lawsuit, that it's so super complicated,
Yeah.
and also to like figure all of these little things out, and so
It's a
yeah,
really tangled web, of like tied up ends, and
yeah, absolutely.
I don't want to go tugging too much on that string. Uh, okay, that was already covered. Oh,
Oh,
yes,
woo!
amazing. Great news for us.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Woo-hoo.
More data out of the Google Search Console.
Yes.
Yeah, this is awesome. And I think a lot of SEOs, I'm looking at John Shihada, for example,
Mhm.
Lily Ray, they probably had some tears in their eyes when this,
Like us.
hit the ticker. I mean,
Yeah.
me as well. I was so super excited. And I think
Mhm.
getting, especially Discover data, has been up on everybody's wish list. I think there's like, I mean, like, obviously only the ones that have considerable Discover traffic, because though you had to scrape it out of the Google Search Console up to this point, and now
Yeah.
you finally get it delivered with the API. And I mean, like, obviously this is awesome. A lot of SEOs have been rooting for this, and yeah, and I really love Daniel and his team, like, really listening to the webmasters and really like, hey, we heard you. Let's make this happen. Here's the API. You can now get this. So this is really awesome. And also, what I'm super excited about is the Regex functionality, because especially for us as Right, we pull so much data out of our GSE Firehose access, that actually, with the help of Regex, it's even it offers a lot more possibilities to really
Yeah.
let the whole account dry, especially when you are faced with really large accounts where it's like really hard to extract all the data out of it, especially every day. I think Regex can help a lot here, really zeroing in on a couple of places and getting the data out with the GSE API. So we're doing some tests right now, and I think it's very promising. We might even be able to get a little bit more data out, especially for the large accounts. So yeah, great,
Mhm.
awesome stuff. Thank you, Google.
Thank you, Google Search Console team,
Yay,
and Daniel. Yeah.
awesome job there.
Yeah, that was really good news this week. Definitely.
Yeah.
What else do we? Oh, indexnow.com, powered by ZipTie. Yeah, so
Awesome. Yeah,
integration. Yeah. So it's really cool. So our friends over at Onely have created ZipTie and have released Index Now.
I love it that they just.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's so easy to do this, right? I mean, like, the API makes it really super easy to
Yes.
use this, and they basically made a web front end out of it, and I totally love this. I mean, like, still, we talked about this, right? This is basically a solution for an already solved problem,
Mhm.
but this is obviously very helpful to just have this web front end, and I mean, like, we should definitely think of it, because just today, Bing was linking out to a couple of SEO tools, they were using this, and I was like, oh my god, it's a
Yes.
great link for actually saying, yeah, we might use this in the future. I know I don't really like see the super value for our users there, because again, we're talking about a solved problem, right? As if you really need this kind of solution, you might already have different problems. You might
Mhm.
still struggle with dynamic serving, which an SEO tool provider sold to you. Maybe you need this kind of stuff for that, right? I mean, like, I don't want to flame anyone, but I mean, like, obviously for the link it's cool, but other than that, if you get your shit straight, you shouldn't be able, you shouldn't need to use any of this. But great stuff from 1D here, jumping on it, doing this indexnow.com.
Yeah.
Because I think this is going to get a lot of links, a lot of traffic, a lot of traction for them. So it's pretty cool. Well done.
Yeah, and the whole site as well. So ZipTie, Yeah, so you can also register for their newsletter, and then get like incoming updates as well on their studies that they're carrying out. So a lot of exciting things going on over there.
And I mean, like seriously, we really got to see these guys really have some of the best experience in that field, especially getting
Exactly.
like pages which have big problems with really getting their stuff indexed. And I think especially Wanley, Bartosz, Tomek, they've been working with so many huge brands on these issues. And so they're really pros in this. So I'm really following also what they're doing with ZipDie, because it's a great idea, you know, to really focus in on where you're really strong, and these guys really are the strongest in regards to this specific SEO challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, the top 6 of the week from Kevin Indig.
Yeah, this is awesome. Have you clicked on this? This
No.
is really just this one. He actually released 5 new tips. I actually didn't look at those new ones. This is actually an older one. We use this in our daily dose of SEO. Click on this. This is awesome. This seeing Siri Brown EDU. Yeah, it's awesome. It's really cool. So by the way, I also love this animation. You can go around with your cursor, stuff like this. Oh, nice. Just imagine your site map, like your site mapped out like this. Zoom in, like, oh man, it would be awesome, right? Really smooth animation there. So click on start. Click on start. It's pretty cool. So you have basic, also this, it's like an introduction to the basic concept of probability theory. And for example, chance events. So like throwing a coin. Click on it real quick. So you can actually see how this works in real life. So you can flip a coin, right? And you would get heads or tails. And now you flip 100 coins, and you should get this, you know, you get very close to this 50-50 ratio. I mean, like it's a 50-50 chance. So with 100 throws, it should be around this, right? And if you go down, we have the same with expectation. So in this case, we would roll the dice, and you see like at the 3.5. So if you roll like 100 times, it should be around that 3.5 average. So if we roll it 100 times, we can see, right, it always zeroes in.
It evens out,
exactly this. So this is in regards to expectation, and more down variance. In this case, it's drawing cards. So you draw a card, or you draw 100 cards. So I really like this. I mean, explaining this visually, right? Because I mean, like, also in SEO, a lot of people are struggling with these basic concepts, right? And
basic though, I mean, it's basic, but still a bit complicated, like statistics and probability, I think.
But it's still a basic concept. I mean, like
it is, but I know.
A lot of people struggle with these, and I think it's a great visual way to really see. Oh, now I get it. Okay, I understand. Right. So I think this is a great resource to point people to that are struggling with this kind of stuff, which is obviously very important.
It's very cool.
Yeah, really cool. Great site. That's a great find here by Kevin Indig. Yeah.
Oh, and it gets like a bit more complicated then.
With
Bayesian regression, all that.
You go into that rabbit hole. This is really, I mean, like I'm familiar with the basic concept, but then it gets like it's hard. Really cool.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it, like when data science presents their what they've been working on, like, oh, look at this like really interesting study, and you're like, wow, it's like magic, you know. It's just mind-blowing.
These guys are magicians. I mean, like,
they are magicians.
These guys are real life magicians.
They are.
I'm the same. I'm always amazed, and I love these meetings with data science. So when you're in a room with these guys, I can feel I'm the least smart person in that room, and I love it, right? I mean, it's like really, when recruiting is gone right, that you sit in this room and you realize, okay, I'm definitely the least smartest person in this room. So great recruiting on our side for our data science department. I hope Julian doesn't get like a big head now. He's like, oh. No, but I won't tell him. I won't tell him like in real life. You know, it's like, oh.
No. I do think that they are still very good at explaining things for us, though. So even though they're very smart, I mean, it does take a true intelligence to be able to explain it for all kinds of expertise levels.
Yeah.
So they do explain things very well, but I'm still mind blown by a lot of the studies and things they show us.
Yeah, absolutely. And also Katharina, when she gets going about, what we did with the carbon calculator.
Yes.
Like, I mean, like, obviously she did her doctoral thesis in this, so she has a strategical advantage, being very like deep in that field. But it's like, Katharina, you're awesome, but I don't understand a single word you're saying. Like, you're way smarter than I am. So I love it that she's working for us.
Yeah.
Also Kian and Corby and everybody else in that team.
Definitely. Oh, some news here. So now kids and parents can request having their images taken down in search, right? That's what I got from this. Which
and it's like it's supposed to be a very easy, quick way, and this like, and I really like this, that there's now an easy way, if there are really pictures of kids on the internet that you don't want to see there, you can just put it in there. And I mean, like, obviously, like also this also helps Google if you find that one picture, and it might already have been reused, it might have been resampled on basically get another kind of piece out of it. But if they see it, they can also use this to find it anywhere else and also maybe eradicate it out of the internet. So I really like this initiative, although I don't really have that problem. I mean, like, we don't post any pictures of our kids or anything, but you never know how something might end up on the internet, and then it's like really hard how to get rid of that stuff, and it obviously is a very hard thing to get rid of that stuff. And now it's supposed to be very easy, as I don't have any first-hand knowledge there how it works in the end, but I really appreciate
like a simple
the initiative.
Yeah. I mean, all the social media channels feed into Google Images. So if your kid is like posting selfies, which a lot of kids do, then images are going to end up on Google Image Search, right? So, giving people more accessible ways of controlling their content is a good thing, even though maybe this should have been a solved issue before. You know what I mean? Like, it's good that they're solving it now, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
But I like the point. Yeah, it should not be a problem.
Yes, it should not be a problem. Yeah,
it should not be a problem. Seriously, that kids really struggle, or parents really struggle to get pictures from their kids out of the internet that has been used not how they wanted to use it. And I mean, like, seriously, it's 2021. But nevertheless, I appreciate the initiative here from Google.
Yeah. Next up, we have a German tweet from Hans. You have to translate for me.
Famous head of SEO for Chefkoch.de, Germany's largest recipe site. Probably the one. I think it's the number one site for my wife. I think Becky's number one site. I think Chefkoch probably, alongside eBay Kleinanzeigen maybe. She's also, like, obviously with kids' clothes and stuff like this. There's like a community on eBay Kleinanzeigen, but other than that, I think it's Chefkoch. She's very active on there. And he actually noticed these images now also in the Google search suggest, which is kind of cool. Because I think it also really helps the user in this case, because it's just much better, like seeing the logo instead of basically reading through these things. And this goes again into this concept from Google that, like, the same result can already be a better result if it's one step earlier, or if it's a little bit faster, right? And in this way, if somebody's really wanting to go to a specific brand, like in this case, Bon Prix, which is a large German online shop, right? I mean, like, I think they would immediately see the logo and would reach that store a little bit faster. So I think this is a really good initiative. But if you scroll down on this tweet, because he was sending this to me, because we were talking about this in our daily dose of SEO. So what I did, I searched for SEO. If you make this a little bit bigger. So this is me searching for SEO, and look at this. So you have the SEO Bamberg. So Bamberg is a city in Munich. A city in Munich, a city in Bavaria. And this is a Italian restaurant called SEO exclamation mark. Right? I was actually thinking, is SEO like Italian? As that is sort of like an Italian word, but apparently it's not. So But and so it's like
Wow.
very weird that this Italian restaurant would call itself SEO. And we actually had someone in our daily dose of SEO who ate there before, right? And he
Oh,
said, "Oh, it's great food," and they actually also have great ratings, so they supposedly really have great food. So I was really thinking about doing SEO Stammtisch. What's Stammtisch in English, by the way?
we don't have a word for that, but some kind of like meetup, maybe?
Like a regular meetup at a
Yeah.
specific place in a specific restaurant.
Yes.
Yeah, so an SEO meetup at the SEO. Oh my God, look at that font. I actually haven't looked at that. That's awesome. Look at that
It doesn't,
font.
yeah.
Horrible font. And by the way, a horrible
Awful.
entrance for a restaurant also.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't even look like a restaurant.
It looks like an
Looks like,
office building.
yeah, or could even be like, doesn't look like SEO. It looks like sex. Maybe even like, could be like it looks like a brothel at some sort even. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Also
Oh,
not
it has
having a
like
lot
an
of
all you
experience
can
with
eat.
brothels. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You can even
Mm.
get like a goulash or
A goulash.
something.
I would say that's a Jägerschnitzel. That's
Is it a
probably a
Yiddish?
Jägerschnitzel.
That's so
It's really
Italian.
I like it. Yeah.
SEO buffet.
The SEO buffet. Oh, that's so funny. I didn't look at those pictures. Wait, it's like really like you have like random people like posting their food. What is this?
What is that?
Oh God. As it looks like ice cream with fruit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did they kill a Smurf there? I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. The SEO Bamberg. Yeah, I will go there. I love it. And also the SEO Entertainment GmbH, which is a video production. So I mean, like by the way, we've seen this first. I think already last year we've seen these logos. Leah wants to go. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, a long trip from Minnesota. Just saying.
Yeah.
But obviously, I would appreciate you coming here and having, and then we would eat there. But by the way, as we saw this last year, that it actually happened before with local results. But here I think there's a little bit, yeah, it's not fine tuned yet. Let's say like this.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, I think it's a great improvement. Yeah.
Interesting. SEO Bamberg. Nice.
Yeah.
Can't wait
Yeah,
to
and
go
probably
there.
the SEO guy from Bamberg. So maybe you have an agency being SEO in Bamberg. He's like probably fuming
He
because
must
this
be.
restaurants outranks them. You know. Yeah, I mean, obviously, right? So if you search for SEO Bamberg, they
Yeah.
Google would trigger that local result while he wants people to go to his agency in Bamberg.
The whole front page of the SERP is just this restaurant, and then
Yeah.
down here we have the SEO Agentur, the agency, SEO work. The poor guys.
Yeah, poor guys. Yeah,
Poor guy.
but obviously more people are searching for the restaurant than that specific
Yeah.
agency, which is why the local results are on top. But by the way, what do you think about we could actually also gründen found a restaurant in Munich called SEO
Munich.
SEO München. Yeah.
Yes, I like this.
Kind of cool. It's kind of cool. We could have a restaurant in the right campus, so we could put the restaurant in the right campus.
Yes.
You know, so we would have our address. So people look, whatever.
And then we get above 4 stars in Google, so that we rank for best SEO in Munich. Because then Google is showing the best local listings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. What is next? Google Search Console impressions report and continuous scroll SERPs.
I think the interesting tidbit here, this way I think I sent it to you, was, I mean, like obviously we know how this works. This is nothing really new, but a lot of people like also had like a misunderstanding regarding continuous search, infinite scroll. And obviously this is not the same. And John really made it clear again that basically the results are triggered in packs of 10, right? This is not infinite scroll. So this is basically you just get rid of somebody having to click on page 2. If you go to the bottom, you load page 2. So I don't really think a lot of this is changing. And I know that I also looked at a lot of Google Search Console data, and I could actually not really see any like oh, there's now more impressions or less clicks and like really like an impact on the CTR. I don't know. So I really didn't see any effect. But I had some of our customers, like where I was talking to them, like really asking about how this would actually work, how this would actually look like in Google Search Console, and I could just say, well, it would basically look almost the same. He's saying, I think John, you answered that he would. Blah, 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 I think. Blah, blah, blah. No, it was. What about further down?
Oh, the groups of 10. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So from that point of view, not much really changes here. But again, I had a lot of conversations with our customers about this topic, so I thought I'd bring it up here as well.
Yeah. No, I was also checking initially, like position is worse than 10. The position trend is 0, so it's not moved around. Like, has the average click-through rate improved for these keywords? And I couldn't really find anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No, that's cool. That's interesting. I didn't read this article, How to Invest in SEO.
I actually also didn't read the whole article. And I think, I mean, like also I started in the beginning, I wasn't a big fan of it, but there's one interesting thought experiment here. So if you scroll down, scroll down. So he's basically looking at eBay and how much of it's further down. And he's looking at how much SEO traffic is eBay getting and how much revenue are they making with this SEO traffic. And therefore, if you make so much money with SEO traffic, you should reinvest a part of this revenue again into SEO. And if you do the math here, you would end up with, I think, $25 million a $25 million budget for SEO. So if you scroll down, so he does this interesting. So yeah, I know. I always had this what the fuck moment. If you scroll down a little bit more, a little bit more. Here. So what would up again? What could you do with a 25 million per year investment in SEO? A little bit more down. Sorry.
Oh yeah, sorry. This one.
Hire a 50-person SEO team of engineers, analysts, and SEO experts at $200,000 per year each, and that's just 10 million. Then hire 5 agencies on a retainer at $50,000 per month each, 3 million. Hire a 50-person team of strong content writers at $100,000 per year each. Spend $2 million a year on tooling, which is also a lot of tools, by the way, right? And then admire the remaining $5 million per year. So, and I love that. I mean, like, obviously it's BS, right? But I love that thought experiment. What would you actually, spend $25 million on, right? But on the contrary, I mean, like we've talked about NerdWallet, I think a couple of weeks back, right? And I think really, if you really like invest, if you really say, hey, I really want to win at SEO, right? And I really think I can make a lot of money with that channel if I invest into it, right? And I think this is exactly what NerdWallet actually did, right? Because they just invested in SEO, like supreme content, like and everything, and look at them now, right? And it's sort of the same thing, also at a much lower scale with onpage.org wiki back in the days. So when we started out with onpage.org, we actually saw the opportunity that there's no online marketing or no wiki which explains online marketing, SEO, or other marketing terms. So this is what we launched in Germany, and then also in English as well, in Spanish and stuff like this. And still today, we're still generating a 5-figure amount of users every single day. So we would have to spend, I think, like $15,000 to $20,000 each day just to buy that traffic, and we get that for free now. But back in the days, we actually spent like $250,000, 300,000 euros on building up that wiki, right? Which might like obviously took a little time that it paid off. and now we're still profiting from this. And I think this is really, I mean, like, obviously this is ludicrous, but I think this goes a lot into a lot of conversations I have with our customers when it's really about, you know, investing in SEO, where we really, you do an audit with a customer and you really see there's a huge opportunity there, right? They already have a strong brand. There's a huge opportunity, not a strong competition. They could really eat up everything, but it's really about, you know, like making this investment. And you always have these discussions, you know, with the PPC guy, and he's like, oh, I spent $1,000 and I make a 1,500, and the marketing guy says, okay, you know, I give you more budget, you know, make more of it. And the SEO guy comes, hey, you know, I want a budget of, you know, whatever. And he's like, well, you know, like, what do we earn with it? How much long does it take? And all these questions, which are very hard to answer for an SEO, right? And so they always come up with this, oh, well, we start with $1,000, but if that works, we're going to blow this up. No, it's not going to work. You know, take the $1,000, spend it on AdWords, it's all good, but it's likely not going to make a dent with SEO. But this is, I think, I think a good discussion really to make, like, really like trying to make a bigger case, like really saying, okay, if you do the investment, it's going to be worth your while, and it's going to work. And so I really like this sort of like thought experiment going on in this.
Yeah, that's really cool. Nice. Yeah, we'll definitely give that a read. Interesting topic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, cool. Oh, there was the News SEO conference this week. Yeah, hosted by our friends John Shihata and Barry Adams. Awesome news SEOs. And I didn't attend. Did you attend?
No, not at all. We actually have someone, I think next week on our Daily Dose of SEO with Alex. Although I'm on vacation, he has someone who attended, and he's going to tell a little bit about what he liked, what he saw. So I'm also quite excited watching that show next week to hear this.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, but had to do them. Although, you know, bad timing with, you know, the Google Discover API. I think this made a lot of people, you know, revisiting their decks and working on slides again, because now,
yes,
I think Lily was posting about this. So funny, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I got all these slides, and now it's all new. Yeah. There's a couple of recaps on Search Engine Journal. And I have just like scanned this. I think there's another very good article which I really enjoyed. Yeah, this is really cool. So Christine Liang, I think she's a director of SEO at New York Times. She has some great tips. This is a great write-up here from Greg Jabal on Search Engine Journal. So again, I didn't read too much into it because I'm also not a news SEO, discover SEO kind of guy. But nevertheless, I found this recap here of her talk very, very interesting. And it's the New York Times, so obviously there's some good insights here from.
Yes. Yeah, amazing case studies as well going on. So well done there for organizing an awesome event. Cool. Oh, this was about the priority hints.
This
is
really exciting. I haven't seen this before. This is from the 20s.
No, me neither.
It's like 88. This I should have seen this last Thursday, and we should have talked about it last Friday. I didn't see this. It was the first time I actually saw it. I don't even remember why. It was some article. I don't know. I was like, really, oh my god, that's really cool. Why didn't I see this? So yeah, so this is kind of cool that you can now really indicate what's important and entice the browser to load that first. Yeah, stuff like this, great stuff. Yeah, really cool, and I totally missed it.
It is really cool. It's kind of interesting that we have these kind of hints now, because, you know, also interesting they mention like preload and pre-connect, which could even have a low priority. You know, if there's specific dependencies that are kind of slowing that down. So interesting to have this. But I am like any kind of sort of specification that you can provide, I'm a bit worried that maybe people are overdoing it and not providing a good priority, because you say, okay, this is high importance, this is high importance, that's very high importance, and then nothing
meta keywords all again, like, oh, meta keywords, and let me insert all the keywords that are important that I want to rank for, and now this is like, oh, everything is important.
Everything is important.
This is important. And then we're just like, hey, what the hell are you doing here?
Yes, Which is kind of true, right? Because a lot of elements on the page are important. So let's see how it goes. Like maybe this gets out of hand. I don't know. And I don't know either right now, like how will the browser take this into consideration? Like how are their heuristics going to weigh up against these browser hints? Like maybe the browser knows already that this isn't a high priority, even though someone has specified as high priority. So this could be really interesting to check. And it seems like it's very, very simple to implement. So a lot of people could be playing around with this. I definitely do want to test it myself. Yeah, let's see.
But by the way, I know I should have read the article, but what I'm now wondering is this is probably just Chrome, right? Or does Firefox also use this other browsers? I would expect this is just Chrome actually. Or is it like
it's still an experimental? Yeah. So it's just in Chrome 96 plus. Yeah.
Chrome stable in 4 weeks. Yay. So now in 3 weeks. Love it.
Nice. Yeah. Maybe that's why we didn't hear about it yet, because they're keeping it on a sort of a silent launch. Yeah.
Yeah, but still, I'm on web dev quite a lot, and then I totally missed it. I haven't seen it. It's kind of funny.
That's okay. Blink priority. Yeah, cool. Let's take a look at a search pilot test, because we have those every week. This one is about adding book now to titles for a travel website. So let's take a look at the control and the variant.
Yeah.
So previously, car repair services save 15% versus dealership, and the variant, so the test one, car repair services book now, and the street name.
Yeah, it's kind of
weird
because think? Yeah, I mean, like I would have said probably positive, but I was quite amazed by the amount of positive it actually created, right? I think maybe it could be because basically with this book now you're implying that you like I mean, like obviously this is what you want to do, right? I want to go to car repair. I need to go to car repair because I have this, so I want to find a I want to make a date with them, and normally I would go to the website and then basically find, okay, how can I book a date with them? And this book now, right in the SERPs, basically could like lead people to think, oh, this is a book right away, so this would save me time, which is why the click-through rate may be higher. Still, it's maybe it's really also just this specific experiment. I don't know, but I was really amazed by how positive this looked.
It really, it's, we check these every week, don't we? And sometimes they're like quite positive, sometimes it's quite negative, but they're never really this extreme. So it's kind of interesting to see one that just like flew away completely. Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did hypothesize that maybe it's because it's shorter than the previous call to action, so you could see more of the street address.
This also depends on the street address.
It doesn't depend.
Right? I mean, this is what I mean, like regarding that it could be exactly this example, but for us, the Paul Heise Straße 27, which is where the White Campus is located, right? Also, we would suck on both of these, right? Also, now and whatever.
Paul Heise Straße. It's a great.
Yeah. I mean, like obviously,
was Paul Heise, was this a real an important person?
Paul Heise. Let me Google this for you. I actually don't know who is Paul Heise.
Because it's quite a big street. It's quite an important street in Munich.
He was a German author, dramatician, and translator.
Oh.
He created 180 novels, 8 Romane, also
fiction,
and 68 dramas. A lot of drama with this guy. Yeah, and he lived
a lot of drama happens on the street.
Yeah, born 1830, died in 1914. Yeah.
Well, again, what learned? I know more about our street.
Paul Heise.
Paul Heise. Thanks, Paul. Searchresponse.io.
Cool
This is now
tip
that
from a
people
lady here.
also
I tried it
search
out real
for.
quick. They have a new tool. They also have this people also ask tool, but now they released a new tool. People also search for a tool, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Tried out a couple of searches. I mean, like it's just in the US. I mean, like obviously I wanted to try it with a couple of German queries, but it's quite nice also from the whole how the tool's built. Also, it's a very cool resource and it's free. So if you do some keyword topical research, I think that's a good tool to have in your bookmarks.
Yes, very nice. Is it just in the US or in English? Just in
So
English.
the people also search for is just US, or me being stupid having not found how I could switch it, but it really looked that it's only this. You could also, yeah, so you see it's only
the US,
only as craft beer brands, craft beer brewery meaning, craft beer delivery. Yeah, you would like some delivery of craft beer.
Yes, I would.
But put it in the URL. I haven't done this, by the way. Put ianwright.com. I think you get the HTTPS. I don't know.
Really?
Could be. What?
No SERP URL rows found.
Okay, maybe without the HTTPS. Sorry for that.
It does say including, though.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, I did it for right. That's not the thing. There was like right meaning, right pricing, right products. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't work.
Can't type now.
Oh, you mean
Is that the right URL?
It's amazing that you know this.
There we go.
And now it works. Look at this.
Yeah.
Right SEO, right G2, right jobs, right solutions.
Nice.
Right
Woo.
Right AI. I love it. Cool.
Nice. Yeah. Cool little free tool for the week.
Yeah, definitely a good tip for some topic research.
Yes. And then that is all I have. That's all I have for the news this week, but we're already
over time, so that's a good coincidence. It's really cool. Yeah. Thanks so much. Really cool. And thanks so much, everybody, for listening. I hope you enjoyed it a little bit. I mean, like really quite some exciting topics this week. Again, we won't be around next week. We're both on vacation. So Google is going to Turing Fest. Izzi is going to, I just called you Google. I was like,
well, like, I do know everything.
It's like you're sort of like the same thing, right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. By the way, I've never seen Sergey Brin and you in the same room.
Right? So that's what everyone says.
That's what everyone says, right? It could be you. I mean, like really, I've never seen you guys in the same room. So I don't know. So Izzi's going to go into Edinburgh, and then I think you're going home to Burnley.
My hometown, yes. Burnley.
And you haven't been there for quite a while, right?
Since 2 years now.
2 years. Holy shit.
I know. Crazy. I'm really excited.
Yeah, and your parents going to be really happy.
Yes, really very cool. Happy. I hope. Yeah.
Very cool.
No, it's going to be very fun. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And where are you going? Are you staying in Munich, or what are you up to?
We're going to Austria, to a hotel where the G50 summit took place.
Shemmelvid. No, amazing. I'm so jealous. It's like
a week. Just a week.
It's the best. Just a week, but it's the best hotel in the world.
Yeah, dude, the kids are they're so excited. You know, they're so super excited to go there again. And like, Becky also very excited. I'm excited. Everybody's excited.
Yeah.
And I can't wait. It's really cool.
Amazing.
Yeah, really cool.
Great. All right. Then.
Yeah.
So everyone, see you in 2 weeks.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the comments. And yeah, I hope to see everybody of you again in 2 weeks. And for now, I would say we would like to temporarily redirect you from work to
the weekend.
That's us. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Everything. Happy optimizing. Woohoo! Gotta end the broadcast.